The 10-year-old homeless boy weighed 62 pounds, starving, freezing, alone. He was searching for food in an alley when he saw it. 5 gang members beating a biker, kicking him while he was down, preparing to stab him. The boy had nothing, no strength, no weapon, no reason to intervene. He could have run, should have run, but he didn't. He threw his tiny body over the unconscious biker, became a human shield. "Stop hurting him!" The gang turned on the boy, beat him savagely, broke his bones, nearly killed him, but he wouldn't move, wouldn't abandon the stranger. When the biker woke in the hospital and learned what happened, he made one call. The next morning, 1,000 motorcycles arrived. If this story moves you, please like and share. Courage has no age requirement. Jamie Foster was 10 years old and completely alone. He'd lived on Portland streets for 18 months, since his mother abandoned him at a shelter, said she'd be back in 2 days, never came back. Jamie had no other family. Father unknown, grandmother dead, mother vanished into addiction. The system tried placing him, but foster homes were full. Jamie slipped through cracks, ended up on the streets. He survived by scavenging, dumpster diving, begging, sleeping in cardboard boxes behind Safeway. Portland winters were brutal. Rain, cold, 30-degree temperatures. Jamie was always wet, always freezing, always hungry. He weighed 62 pounds, should have weighed 90. Malnutrition, exhaustion, but he survived, day by day, alone. November 15th, 2024, Thursday afternoon. Jamie was searching for food in the alley behind Rusty Nail Bar. Sometimes they threw out good stuff. He heard shouting, looked up. 5 men, leather jackets, swastika tattoos, white supremacists, Aryan Brotherhood, local gang, violent, dangerous. They surrounded a 6th man, big guy, leather vest, Hell's Angels patch. His motorcycle was parked at the alley entrance. "This is our territory," one supremacist shouted. "You disrespected us by parking here." The biker, Bear, his vest said, raised his hands. "I didn't know. I'll move." Too late. The leader, Derek Morrison, covered in Nazi tattoos, punched Bear hard. Bear stumbled. The 5 rushed him. Punches, kicks. Bear fought back initially, but 5-on-1 was too much. He went down. They kept kicking. Bear curled up, protecting his head, blood pooling. Derek pulled a knife, 8-inch hunting blade. "Let's end this Nazi-hating biker trash." Jamie watched from behind dumpster, terrified. This man was about to be murdered. He should run, hide, survive. That was street rule, don't get involved. But Jamie couldn't. This man was being killed, and nobody was helping. Jamie ran, screaming, "Stop hurting him." He threw himself over Bear's unconscious body, shielding him, his 62-pound frame covering as much as possible. The supremacists stared, shocked. "Get out of the way, street rat," Derek said. "No, leave him alone. You want what he's getting? I don't care. Stop hurting him." Derek kicked Jamie hard in the ribs. Jamie gasped, pain exploding, but he didn't move. "Get off him!" Derek kicked again and again. The other 4 joined, kicking Jamie, punching him, stomping his hands. Jamie screamed, bones breaking, blood pouring, but he stayed on Bear, protecting him, even as consciousness faded. "Stupid kid," Derek spat. "Let's go." Someone called cops. They ran, leaving Jamie and Bear, both unconscious, both bleeding. 5 minutes later, motorcycles arrived. 15 Hell's Angels. They'd gotten worried when Bear didn't return calls. They found him in the alley and a small boy, covering him, protecting him. "What the hell?" one biker said. "This kid saved Bear. Look, he's shielding him." They called ambulances. Both were rushed to hospital. Bear with concussion and broken ribs. Jamie with broken nose, 3 broken ribs, 7 broken fingers, severe bruising. When Bear woke, he asked, "Who saved me?" "A kid, maybe 10, homeless, threw himself over you, took the beating that would have killed you. They stopped kicking you to kick him. He saved your life." Bear started crying. "Where is he?" 2 floors up, intensive care. They beat him bad, but he'll live. I need to see him, now." Bear insisted on wheelchair, went to Jamie's room. The boy was unconscious, covered in bandages, so small, so broken. "This child saved me," Bear whispered. Didn't know me, had no reason to, but he sacrificed himself. That's the purest courage I've ever seen. He called Reaper, national president of Hell's Angels. Brother, a 10-year-old homeless kid saved my life, took a beating that was meant for me, protected me when he could have run. This is honor beyond anything we've ever witnessed. I need every chapter mobilized. This boy showed us what courage really means. We're responding properly. Within 12 hours, Reaper had contacted 47 Hells Angels chapters across Oregon, Washington, California, and Idaho. Brothers, a 10-year-old homeless child saved Bear's life, threw himself over Bear's unconscious body, took a beating that nearly killed him, protected a stranger. That's the purest honor we've ever seen. We're responding. Tomorrow morning, Portland, every member who can ride. We're showing this boy what it means when Hell's Angels owe someone their life. By dawn, 1,000 motorcycles assembled. Hell's Angels from across the Pacific Northwest, all coming to honor a homeless child who'd shown them what courage looks like. They rode to the hospital in formation, military precision, 1,000 Harley-Davidsons, engines roaring. The sound shook Portland. Inside, Jamie was awake, in pain, confused. A nurse had explained what happened. You saved that biker's life. You're a hero. Jamie didn't feel like hero. He felt broken, alone, like always. Then he heard it. Deep rumbling, growing, shaking the hospital. Bear entered his room, smiling. Jamie, there's someone, actually a lot of someones, who want to meet you. Can you handle visitors? Okay. A bear wheeled him to the window. Look down. Jamie looked, gasped. The entire street was filled with motorcycles, hundreds, maybe thousands, all Hell's Angels, all standing at attention. What? Why? They're here for you. You saved my life, Jamie, when you didn't have to. When you had every reason to run, you threw your body over mine. Took the beating meant for me. That's courage we've never seen. You showed us what honor really means, so we're here to honor you. All of us. Reaper entered the room. Massive man, 6'5", 300 pounds, covered in tattoos. He knelt beside Jamie's bed. Jamie, I'm Reaper, president of the Hells Angels. What you did yesterday was the bravest thing I've ever witnessed. You're 10, homeless, weighed 62 pounds, facing 5 armed men. You could have run, should have run. Instead, you protected Bear, sacrificed yourself. That's courage that shames every one of us. We're here to say thank you and to make you family forever. He placed a small leather vest on Jamie's bed, child-sized, with patches. Jamie Foster, honorary member, protected forever by Hell's Angels worldwide. Your family now, 1,000 brothers. We're adopting you. Officially, legally. You're never alone again. You're never homeless again. You're never unprotected again. Understand? Jamie started crying. Why? I'm nobody. You're the bravest person we've ever met. You showed us that courage isn't about size or strength. It's about character, about sacrificing yourself for others. That's our code. You lived it when we weren't even there, so you're one of us forever. Outside, 1,000 bikers raised their fists, saluting, honoring their newest and youngest brother. The hospital staff was overwhelmed. We've never seen anything like this. 1,000 bikers honoring a homeless child. He deserves it, Bear said. He saved my life. Now we're saving his. The Hells Angels didn't just honor Jamie. They mobilized. Club lawyers filed emergency custody papers. Jamie became ward of the Hells Angels Brotherhood. First time in club history they'd legally adopted someone. Housing was arranged. Small house, provided by club, furnished, safe. Jamie's home, forever. Medical care, full coverage, paid by club funds. Jamie's injuries healed properly. Physical therapy, dental work, nutritional support, everything he needed, education, enrollment at good school, supplies, tutoring, college fund established, $500,000, Jamie's future secured, but most importantly, family. 1,000 brothers committed to protecting him, raising him, ensuring he never felt alone again. You saved one of us, Reaper told him. We're saving you back permanently. The transformation was immediate. Jamie went from homeless street kid to protected family member overnight. How do you feel? Bear asked during one visit. Safe, for the first time since Mom left. I have a home, food, people who care. I can't believe it's real. It's real and permanent. You're our brother. That never changes. The story went viral. Homeless boy saves biker, 1,000 Hells Angels adopt him. Media covered it extensively. The video of 1,000 motorcycles at the hospital. Jamie in his tiny vest, Bear crying beside him. Public response was overwhelming. Donations poured in. People inspired by Jamie's courage wanted to help. Give it to other homeless kids, Jamie instructed. I have everything now. They don't. The Hells Angels established Jamie's Courage Fund, helping homeless children, housing, medical care, education, support. Jamie showed us what bravery looks like, members explained. We're honoring that by helping kids like him, who face impossible circumstances but still have courage. At 6 months, Jamie was thriving. Healthy weight, 78 pounds, attending school, making friends, excelling academically. I want to be like Bear, he told his teacher. Brave, strong, someone who helps people. You already are, Jamie. You saved a life. That takes more courage than most people ever show. At 1 year, the Hells Angels held a celebration. 1 year since Jamie's courage. 5,000 people attended. Bikers, community members, homeless children helped by Jamie's Courage Fund, media, officials. Jamie, now 11 and confident, addressed the crowd. 1 year ago, I was homeless, starving, alone. I saw someone being hurt. I couldn't walk away. Bear taught me that protecting people matters more than protecting yourself. The Hells Angels showed me that family isn't about blood. It's about who stands beside you. Thank you, all of you, for giving me a life I never thought possible. 5,000 people stood, applauding, many crying, understanding they'd witnessed something extraordinary. At 5 years, Jamie was 15, honor student, athlete, volunteer helping other homeless kids, living the values the Hells Angels taught him. Why do you help? Someone asked. Because 1,000 strangers helped me. When I had nothing. When I was nobody. They gave me everything. I'm paying that forward. Forever. At 10 years, Jamie was 20. College student, studying social work, planning to dedicate his life to helping homeless children. I meet kids like I was constantly, he told Bear during one visit. Alone. Scared. Surviving. I show them my story, prove that transformation is possible, that courage matters, that one act of bravery can change everything. Bear, now 58, hugged him. I'm proud of you, little brother. You saved my life. Then you used that second chance to save thousands more. That's legacy, that's honor. At 20 years, Jamie was 30. Social worker, running a non-profit helping homeless youth, married, father of 2, successful, happy. 20 years ago, I was dying on the streets, he told a journalist. I saved a biker. 1,000 bikers saved me back. They showed me that courage creates courage, that sacrifice inspires sacrifice. That one act of bravery can create a movement. I'm living that lesson every day. The Jamie's Courage Fund had helped over 10,000 homeless children by this point. $100 million distributed, countless lives saved. We're successful because we remember our foundation, Jamie told the board. 1 homeless kid, 1 act of courage, 1 massive response. That simplicity guides everything. Sometimes courage comes in small packages. Sometimes family chooses you. Sometimes 1 act of bravery changes thousands of lives. Jamie proved it. The Hells Angels honored it. And 10,000 children benefited from the lesson. If this story moves you, please like and share. Courage has no age requirement. At 30 years after the rescue, Jamie stood before the United States Senate, testifying on behalf of comprehensive homeless youth services legislation. His voice was powerful, authoritative, confident. 30 years ago, I was a 10-year-old homeless child, starving, alone. I witnessed a murder attempt. I could have run, should have run. Instead, I protected the victim, took a beating that nearly killed me. That act of courage changed my life. 1,000 Hell's Angels adopted me, gave me everything. But millions of homeless children face similar circumstances without that intervention. We need federal systems ensuring every homeless child gets safety, housing, education, healthcare. That's what this bill does. I urge you to pass it. The bill passed unanimously. Jamie's Promise Act, federal funding for comprehensive homeless youth services, $2 billion annually, mandatory intervention protocols, housing first approaches. You changed federal policy, Bear told him afterward. Now 78 and using a cane, but still present. That courage 30 years ago keeps creating ripples, because you honored it. You showed me that one brave act deserves massive response. I'm just ensuring every homeless child gets what I got, a chance. Jamie's Courage Fund had grown exponentially. 30 years of operation, over 50,000 homeless children helped, housing, medical care, education, support, $500 million distributed. We're successful because we remember our foundation, Jamie told the board. One homeless child, one act of courage, 1,000 bikers responding. That simplicity guides everything. We replicate that response for every child. The video of 1,000 motorcycles at the hospital remained iconic. 1 billion views across 3 decades, used in courage training, ethics courses, community organizing, the definitive example of honoring bravery. The Jamie video teaches multiple lessons, educators explained. Size doesn't determine courage. Vulnerability doesn't prevent heroism. And most importantly, communities must honor and protect brave individuals. The Hell's Angels response is the model. Derek Morrison, the Aryan Brotherhood leader who'd beaten Jamie, had been caught and sentenced. 25 years for attempted murder and assault on a minor. He was now 57, still in prison. I think about that kid constantly, Derek said during parole hearing. I nearly killed him for protecting someone. That haunts me. I was a monster. The Hell's Angels response taught me something, that even a homeless child has more honor than I ever had. I'm glad they protected him. I deserved what I got. Parole denied. Derek would serve full sentence. At 35 years, Bear passed away. 83 years old, heart failure. Jamie was with him at the end. Thank you, Bear whispered, for saving my life, for showing me what courage looks like, for being the best brother I ever had. You changed everything, Jamie. Never forget that. Jamie held his hand, crying. Thank you for honoring my courage, for giving me family when I had none, for teaching me that bravery matters. You saved me right back. I love you, Bear. And Bear died minutes later, content, knowing the boy he'd saved had become an extraordinary man. His funeral drew 20,000 people. Hell's Angels from across North America, homeless children helped by Jamie's Courage Fund, advocates, officials, ordinary people whose lives Bear and Jamie touched. Jamie gave the eulogy. 35 years ago, Bear was being murdered. I protected him, took the beating meant for him. Bear woke up and asked who saved him. When he learned it was a homeless 10-year-old, he didn't just thank me. He mobilized 1,000 brothers. They adopted me, gave me life I never imagined possible. Bear taught me that courage deserves response, that bravery should be honored, that protecting others is the highest calling. Thank you, Bear, for seeing my courage, for responding massively, for being my brother. Rest in peace. 20,000 people stood, saluting, honoring a man who'd taught them that honoring bravery creates more bravery. At 40 years, the 40th anniversary of the rescue was national event. Jamie's story had become foundational text in homeless services and courage ethics. Representatives from all 50 states attended the commemoration in Portland, each describing programs inspired by Jamie's story. In New York, we created Courage Houses, immediate housing for homeless children who demonstrate extraordinary bravery. In California, Jamie's Law, mandatory response protocols when homeless children intervene in emergencies. In Texas, Brotherhood programs, connecting homeless youth with supportive adult mentors, modeled after Hell's Angels' response. All inspired by one 10-year-old protecting a stranger, Jamie, now 50, addressed 15,000 assembled people. 40 years ago, I was homeless, dying. I saw murder happening. I intervened. That moment changed everything. Not because I was special, because the Hells Angels honored my courage. They showed the world that bravery, no matter how small, deserves massive response. That's what we're replicating. Every homeless child who shows courage gets protected, supported, honored. That's Jamie's promise. The Hells Angels rode in formation, 500 motorcycles, representing Bear's legacy, honoring commitment to protecting brave children. We're not the same club we were 40 years ago, the current president told the crowd. We're better, because Jamie showed us that courage has no size requirement, that homeless children can teach us honor. We're living that lesson forever. At 50 years, Jamie was 60, still advocating, still running the Courage Fund, still speaking globally about homeless youth. People ask when I'll retire, he told a journalist. Never. This work is my life. Bear gave me that life by honoring my courage. I honor him by continuing the work. Until I die, I'm protecting homeless children. His own children, 3, all successful social workers, continued the work. Dad taught us that courage creates responsibility, his daughter Maria said, that if you witness bravery, you must honor it. We're raising our kids with those values. Doe. At 60 years, the 60th anniversary was an international event. Jamie's story had transcended borders, inspired movements worldwide. Representatives from 90 countries attended, each describing programs inspired by that alley and that courage. In Germany, we created SHIELD programs, honoring children who protect others despite personal vulnerability. In Japan, Jamie Centers, comprehensive support facilities for homeless youth who demonstrate courage. In Brazil, Thousand Brothers initiatives, mobilizing community members to collectively support brave children. All traceable to November 15th, 2024. One moment, one child, one massive response. Jamie, now 70, addressed 30,000 people. 60 years ago, I weighed 62 pounds. Homeless, starving, I threw myself over a stranger to protect him. 1,000 bikers honored that. They changed my life. But more importantly, they taught the world how to respond to courage. That's what we're celebrating, not me. The response, the model, the lesson that bravery deserves protection. The Courage Fund had helped over 200,000 children across 60 years, $25 billion distributed, operating in 120 countries. Jamie's model works, international organizations concluded. Identify courage, honor it massively, provide comprehensive permanent support. That's what vulnerable children need. Jamie and the Hells Angels proved it works. At 70 years, Jamie passed away, 80 years old. He'd lived 70 years past that alley, peaceful death at home, surrounded by family and 50 Hells Angels maintaining vigil. His last words, thank you, to Bear, to the 1,000 who honored me, to everyone who's protected brave children. Keep going. Please, every act of courage deserves response. Every brave child deserves protection. That's all that matters. His funeral drew 60,000 people. Largest gathering in Oregon history. Hells Angels from 200 chapters. Children helped by the Courage Fund. Advocates, officials, ordinary people whose lives Jamie touched. His son Marcus gave the eulogy. Dad was 10 when he saved Bear. The Hells Angels saved him back. He spent 70 years ensuring other brave children got similar protection. Over 500,000 children helped in his lifetime. Laws changed in 90 countries. Global culture transformed to honor and protect courageous youth. He did all that because 1,000 bikers refused to let his courage go unrecognized. Thank you, Dad, for showing us what bravery looks like, for teaching us that courage deserves response. Rest in peace. 60,000 people stood, honoring a man who'd transformed childhood bravery into lifetime of protection. Jamie was buried in Portland, near Bear, reunited with the brother who'd honored him. The headstone, Jamie Foster. At 10, he protected a stranger. At 80, he'd protected 500,000. Courage has no age. 100 years after the alley incident, Jamie's story remained foundational text in homeless services and courage ethics. Universities taught courses on the Jamie response, how communities honoring bravery creates transformative change. November 15, 2024 is defining moment, professors explained. Jamie Foster, homeless 10-year-old, protected a stranger. 1,000 Hells Angels responded by adopting him. That exchange created century of protecting brave children. That's exponential impact from honoring courage. The viral video, now viewed over 50 billion times across a century, was preserved in Smithsonian. Historical document, teaching tool, eternal reminder. The Courage Fund had helped over 2 million children across 100 years. $100 billion distributed, standard model for homeless youth services globally. Jamie's model is universal, international organizations concluded. Identify courage, honor massively, provide permanent support. Every brave child deserves this. Jamie proved it's possible. The Hells Angels had transformed. Once feared outlaws, now respected child advocates, partner to governments, essential component of homeless youth systems worldwide. Jamie changed us, members explained. Before him, we protected bikers. After him, we protect all brave children. That's who we are, forever. At 150 years, Jamie's sesquicentennial was a global event. Representatives from every nation attended, celebrating 150 years of protecting brave children. Jamie Foster protected a stranger 150 years ago, the UN Secretary-General said. 1,000 witnesses honored that courage. That honor created movement protecting over 10 million children globally, changed laws in 193 countries, transformed how humanity treats courageous youth. We honor Jamie today. We honor the Hells Angels who adopted him, and we commit to continuing their legacy. The alley where it happened was now a monument, preserved perfectly, millions visited annually. This is where courage was demonstrated and honored, tour guides explained. Where 62 pounds protected 300, where vulnerability became strength, where one child and 1,000 bikers changed the world. Stand here, feel the weight of that courage, then commit to honoring bravery when you witness it. At 200 years, the bicentennial was humanity's largest gathering. 150,000 people in Portland, celebrating 2 centuries of protecting brave children. 200 years ago, Jamie Foster threw himself over a stranger, the president said. The Hells Angels responded with 1,000 motorcycles. That response created movement protecting over 50 million children. We honor that legacy by ensuring every act of courage gets recognized, every brave child gets protected, every community responds to heroism. That's Jamie's gift. That's the Hells Angels lesson. That's our obligation. The video, viewed over 500 billion times across 2 centuries, remained most powerful courage training tool in human history. This footage captures everything, historians said. Vulnerability, courage, community, response, honor. It's compressed heroism, our highest calling, our best impulses. It teaches eternal lesson. Courage must be honored. 200 years after that alley, Jamie's legacy was undeniable. 50 million children protected, $500 billion distributed, global culture transformed to honor and protect courageous youth. All from one act, all from one massive response. All from one homeless child and 1,000 bikers proving that courage deserves protection. Jamie's lesson endures. Courage has no age. Vulnerability doesn't prevent heroism. Size doesn't determine bravery. The Hells Angels lesson endures. Bravery must be honored. Courage must be protected. Communities must respond to heroism massively. Together they proved that one act of courage creates centuries of protection. One 62-pound boy, one 300-pound biker, 1,000 motorcycles, one transformed world. Thank you, Jamie, for being brave when you had nothing, for protecting a stranger despite everything, for showing us that courage is choice. Thank you, Bear and the Hells Angels, for honoring that courage, for responding massively, for teaching the world how to protect brave children. The lesson lives forever. Courage deserves response. Bravery deserves protection. Heroism deserves honor. Never forget it. Never ignore courage. Never fail to respond to bravery. Because one act changed everything, and it can happen again. Every time a child shows courage, every time a community responds, every time bravery gets honored, miracles happen. Jamie proved it. The Hells Angels lived it. The world continues it. Forever. One brave act at a time. One honored child at a time. One transformed life at a time. That's the power. That's the legacy. That's the truth. Be brave. Honor bravery. Protect courage. Always.